Oh, NASCAR is finally back after 3 weeks of kind of weird esoteric tracks. We had the drafting tracks, we had the road course races. Finally, we get back to true NASCAR oval racing, and I couldn't be more exciting. Thank you for everybody. I couldn't be more excited. I can't even speak. I'm so excited. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Brady here, and as always, the Duke of DFS Army, Taco. Taco, good race yesterday. The Xfinity race went
That
fair.
was a that was a fun one, and I think this one's going to be even better.
Yeah, we kind of backed our way into the middle of that Xfinity race yesterday. Got a little scary, but we kind of backed our way into a win. Cashed our Justin Allgaier stuff. So HB Cards won 2 tickets and 115 playing $7. What a day that is.
Shit.
That's great. But yeah, now we turn our attention to the Cup Series. A late start here, still about 3.5 hours to lock. But like we were talking about yesterday, Taco, if you are just starting in NASCAR DFS, if this is your first year, this week is going to be much more familiar and much more similar to what the rest of the season will be like versus what the first 3 seasons will be like. It's completely different strategy, completely different approach. And Phoenix, as you said yesterday, is one of the
it was the highest correlative track to just compared to general speed.
Yeah, it's a very good cars win at Phoenix. Driver skill expression matters at Phoenix. It's not going to be stack the back. It's not going to be place differential. It's going to be let's find where the speed is and play the speed wherever they're starting.
Yeah, it's not like Martinsville where it's just stacked the front. People block forever, and you can get not so fast cars leading. The sorting happens very quickly at Phoenix, so just raw speed is everything that you need here. And so last year this race in the spring was sort of like a test for the multiple tire compounds. This one's going to be it's going to be more similar to the championship race last year, which should be a change from the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Andrew B. Good call on Allgaier. We backed our way into that one. I can't be too proud of that. But you know, a cash ticket is a cash ticket nonetheless. And shout out Tristan, took down 4K yesterday. What a Saturday evening for Tristan. Congratulations. Hopefully we can win some more money today. Not as cut and dry, I don't think, but this should be a fun slate. There's a lot of drivers that could be the dominators, could be the speed, and there's some interesting PD plays too. So I think it should be fun. Worth noting, pretty standard. Like you said, we had the 2 tire compound thing last spring, but ultimately the same tire package as we ran here about 4 months ago in the fall. Only difference is 80 additional horsepower with the new 750 horsepower package. That didn't seem to be much of a factor in the COTA race, which was the first time we saw it last week. First oval race with it. But again, I just think it accelerates tire wear. I think that's the only difference we'll see. There's a little more driver skill expression. I think throttle control matters a little more, but I don't think it's anything we can use to be predictive. I'm leaning pretty heavily on the last race here in November.
Yeah, and it was these right side tires, I do believe, that we saw at Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
And there's not really a whole lot we can glean from that besides Ryan Blaney really fucking good.
Yeah. And has been for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Penske as a whole on this tire package. We'll get into that. Worth noting, if you haven't joined the show before, if it's your first show, what we'll do is we'll go through some DFS strategy stuff, kind of best practices. Then we'll go into our driver by driver breakdown. Towards the end, we'll set up the domination station and generate kind of 150 lineups, see what that looks like. And then we'll do some betting picks and some season-long stuff towards the end. With that all in mind, I think it's time to hop right into some strategy stuff.
Absolutely.
Let's start by DK average by start. If you watched our show yesterday for the Xfinity race, you'll know this, but Taco, for the first time this season, we're seeing top-heavy averages. Guys starting towards the top 5 have a much better outlook than guys starting towards the back. This isn't a heavy PD track. This isn't a stack the back track. This is the guys that start up front are going to run. I mean, look at the pole sitter average of 84.9 points scored.
I mean, the front row, 50% of the time or more, they're optimal.
Yeah, so you're really not PD matters. There's going to be a couple place differential plays that hit the optimal this week, but for the most part, you just want to find fast cars. Fast cars, fast drivers, that's what matters. If you looked at Atlanta or Daytona, then these guys starting 25th and back always have the highest average fantasy points. Now it's up top. This top kind of 15 is where you want the bulk of your lineup probably, and then a couple more place differential guys in that 21 to 33 range. Generally speaking, the guys that start 35th and back are cars that aren't super competitive, won't be super relevant.
Yeah, those are going to be your lap traffic guys for sure. And you can see just in the average number of laps completed with these guys, like they're going down quite a bit. They almost never hit 30 fantasy points. So unless you got a really, really good driver starting in the back, most of the time they're going to get dunked on. And then I was saying, just scroll down a touch here. You can kind of see like the points we're aiming for here with the optimals. You could actually, so in previous weeks, we've seen, with how we really haven't had dominators like this, being at the road course last week where there was just no laps, and then the super speedways where the fast laps didn't go to the guys up front here. Here, you can see clearly you can punt. Punting is huge. This is like the big difference between this week and the previous weeks is stars and scrub lineups are way, way, way more in play.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the two things, the two options for your lineup builds. And Choke Hold'em, $5. Not a big fan of that Bronco logo you've got in your profile picture, but I won't hold it against you. What's good, guys? Would you make a hybrid Dom group, and who would be in it? Also, if you had to cross 5 drivers off, who would they be? We can start by hybrid Dom group. I think the potential dominators, the ones we'll talk about the most, are going to be Blaney, Logano, and then those would be the top 2. And then there's some version of Hamlin, Larson, Byron, Christopher Bell would be in the second tier. Taco, would you agree with that?
Yeah. And as far as crossing guys off goes, I would start off with Alex Bowman.
Yeah, certainly. Don't make sure you do not have any Alex Bowman in your lineups.
If you want the actual answer, I think the other 4 would be Austin Hill, John Hodge Nemechek, Riley Herbst, and Cody Ware. So thank you very much for that super chat, man.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. And we'll get into it as we go by through the driver by driver as well. Back to this. So yeah, I think there's 2 different ways you can build your lineups. You can do find the fast cars and play the fastest cars you can fit in your salary, or you can do stars and scrubs, stack the top, stack a couple guys that are 10,000 or more, and then find some true punt plays that'll let you fit. We've seen both be successful. It's almost 50-50. Last year it was more the first thing. 24, 23 was more the latter, but definitely 2 different ways to approach this. And first time we're going to see guys, our target only need to be 30 for, if the salary is low enough, a guy scoring you 30 is very, very viable. A couple other comments to go through. Showed out Sean Hoy won 10K in MMA last night. Great. Congratulations. Sounds like the DFS Army won some money last night.
Hell yeah.
That's always good to hear. How many DOMs? We'll probably go at least 2. There's some different ways to build that, I think, but at least 2 is how I was doing my runs this morning. Swampbach makes a really good point here. Do you think there's something to be said that in the fall race, drivers not driving for championship, let the guys that are competing for a championship drive through the field? Yeah, I do think there is a little bit to that. And I think even more so than acquiescing and let the championship contenders drive through the field, I just think you're at the end of a 36 week or 38, 39 week when you count all-star and off weeks. You're in Martinsville. You got to travel across the country to Phoenix. It's the end of a long season. Teams are burnt out. Drivers are burnt out. I think if you're not competing for a championship or not competing to move a spot or 2 ahead in the points, if you're kind of locked in, I think the fall Phoenix race, you see guys punt sometimes and not even meaning to. It's just like I said, you're burnt out. It's the end of the season. You just want to go on vacation. So I do think we do see that fall Phoenix race being a bit strange, but I still think, since it's only been 4 months ago, same tire package, similar engine package, I do think we can glean some stuff from it. Kevin Carter probably needs to refresh.
3:30 Eastern.
The race starts at 3:30 Eastern. And this is one, sometimes it's like the TV window starts at 3:30 and the race starts at 3:50, so you get an extra 20 minutes. I think this one starts pretty close to 3:30.
Let me see what lock is real fast. It is at 3:39. So yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, so get your lineups in early. Yeah, at least 2 DOMs is what I go for choke. But yeah, just wrapping this up. The guys starting on the front row have about a 50% chance to hit the optimal. Any other dominator points, and we'll go through this in a minute, are probably going to come from this kind of top 10 range. There's a couple other potential dominators that are a little further back that we'll talk about as well. But anything else here, Taco, worth noting other than place differential? Get that out of your mind compared to the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Go to the bottom right table here. Just look at scrubs and what they typically do, which is nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. They have only once ever scored more than 40 points. So
what's your metric for scrub? Is
it's sub 60 season-long driver rating. So
yeah,
very important to kind of not consider these guys all. Like Cody Ware, I'm sorry, there's just no reason to ever play him.
Yeah, we need a lot of carnage that we've literally never seen at Phoenix. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to check some guys up to choke Hold'em's point. Let's go to the historical tab, sort this by race, and then sort by, actually I'll do it this way. Boom. See kind of what you're getting from the optimal. So like we said, this fall race can be a little weird. We saw 2 drivers starting in the top 5 hit the optimal. Everybody else was 17th or worse. Justin Haley started 29th, finished 14th. He hit the optimal. That's a bit unusual. Ryan Preece obviously had a really good run, but you'll see like Justin Haley started 29th, ran 28th all day, and then snuck his way into the optimal. So there is that kind of place differential thing that can happen, but we don't see it often. If you go to the spring race last year, again, we had some PD guys, but these were kind of heavy hitter place differential. Ryan Preece, Alex Bowman, Zane Smith, and then John Hunter Nemechek stuck it as well. But again, we had a top 2 starter hit the optimal. If you sort by optimal here and scroll down, you'll also see kind of what we're aiming for in terms of boom. You'll see you can have these low kind of 45s, 44 for your punt guys hit the optimal from time to time.
We have seen the 20s also.
Yeah, I mean, you can go all the way down to
like
where was
Justin Haley at min price, just because it was forced, you know.
Yeah,
like you just needed him at like 4,500 to fit. I'm trying to remember who that was. 23. It's probably like a situation like this week where like Blaney and Hamlin just score like a fuck ton of points each.
Yeah,
and then there's like a big PD play that's in the upper 8s, and like it's just impossible to make it work without just punting all the way down to the bottom. So when in doubt, that could be an option here too.
Yeah, we've also seen very frustrating situations where a guy like Ryan Blaney starts 17th, finishes 2nd, and technically not in the optimal.
Yep.
You know, so you can get a lot of dominators in this race. That's why I go at least 2. You don't want to cap yourself in that way.
Yeah, big at least 2 week.
Ty Dillon's odds are concerning compared to Custer. Is colleague scrubs now? We're gonna find out this week. I know we've both had concerns about colleague racing, the pending or the apparent switch to Dodge probably next year, if not 2028. Definitely some current concerns about colleague for sure.
It's real kind of like the first make or break week for them, I guess, because so far it's kind of like whatever. But as the season goes on, it'll be sort of like watching Suarez last year, just knowing he's inevitably going to taper out. Just when does that start happening?
Yeah, for sure. Big headline here is completely forget the strategies he's employed for the last 3 weeks. Different way to attack this. If we sort by total fast laps, you'll see these get, even I can sort by race here and then by fast laps. Yeah, that should work. You'll see laps led, dominator points usually spread among 3. We do see situations where they get spread among 2 if you have a really dominant race. For example, this 2024, the last race of that season, Joey Logano and Christopher Bell, only 2 dominators in that. But And then you look at a situation like early 2024 where you had 5 or 6 drivers that got about the same Dominator points. So to answer your question, JJT, at least 2 is what I would set in the Dominator. You're going to see at least 2 in almost any situation, but like you see, you can get as many as 5 or 6.
JJ, there is a line for this on Bovada at 6.5. Or I think it's Bet365. They have it at 6.5.
But yeah, we do generally see one guy lead a ton of laps, and then a second guy kind of show up in the second half of the race. Yeah, Jeremy Clements. That's something we'll have to talk about next week. What was that?
Yeah.
Where does that come from all of a sudden? I don't know if he just was tired of wrecking cars and spent all the money he had on a good car, but yeah, definitely need to investigate. Shout out Jeremy Clements. What a great run he had yesterday.
I'm happy for bro. I love those cell phone teams. I love when they do well.
What an interesting way to make a living. Just like borderline competitive NASCAR Xfinity driver, just figuring it out. It's got to be a fun way to make a living.
I wish, dude.
Let's
Alan Kulwicki way.
Yeah, exactly. Let's flip over to the practice times. First time we're getting super, super valuable practice information. Phoenix can be very predictive. Again, like the Xfinity race yesterday, and it turned out to be pretty accurate. The guys that went out early in that session had a bit of an advantage, so you are seeing a bit of skewed times. Again, our strategy for that is always try to normalize it. Let's just get rid of these first 20 laps even. That'll help equalize the track conditions. The guys that went out early versus the guys that went out late. It also gives you a better idea of who's fast in the long run when the deltas in times tend to grow. So let's take away those first kind of 19 laps and then sort by best 5. We're going to end up losing a couple guys, Buescher, Keselowski, but we know what to expect from them. Sort by
RIP your mic. Hello? You replaced that mic cable, bro. I'm telling you.
Sorry, guys. Where did you lose me?
Just a couple seconds ago.
Denny Hamlin was so good.
Yeah.
Here. Should be champion. Obviously lit up the practice board yesterday. Austin Cindric, another guy, Penske car. I think this is a little skewed by him going out earlier, but still has some pace. And then Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace popping up. Another guy, Noah Gragson, benefiting from an early track condition. And then Ryan Blaney, who we're going to end up talking about a lot today. But
surprisingly low. I think this practice actually keeps Blaney from being mega chalk because we're used to seeing him, like top like 2 or 3 in like the long run averages.
I would say either they were trying something or they were hiding a bit of speed, because for Cindric and Logano to be that much faster, I mean, a 10th faster in best 5 after 20 laps, that's a little suspicious. So I don't know if Blaney and crew were trying something or they were hiding a bit of speed. Hard to say, but I don't think that you should be too scared off by this.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot for me to not play Blaney this late.
If I'm building 50 plus lineups in a GPP, would you recommend running the Dom station in optimal or tournament mode? I almost always use tournament mode. Is there ever a situation where you use optimal, Taco?
If you have the world's tightest range, it's more for other sports. Tournament mode is superior.
Suarez is concerning with how high he starts. Yeah, I think a lot of the Spire cars showed a little bit of pace in practice. Even Michael McDowell, who went out later. Interesting that Suarez qualified as well as he did. Maybe that move to Spire turning out not to be as lateral as we think we thought it would be, because he's run pretty well in that Spire car for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. Spire just on the up and up too.
Any other notes from practice here, Taco? Anything jumping off the page for you?
Not really. Chase Elliott concerning. He had a poor qualifying effort as well.
Yeah,
someone you usually think about when you go to Atlanta, although it's not been as friendly to him in the next gen. But really, we've got a lot of overqualified and underqualified guys. Qualifying was really, I'd say, strange.
How predictive do you find Phoenix practice to be?
Pretty across the board, like long runs. Actually, if you want to open up the little arrows between MMR, see if you get any 20 lap runs in there. But sometimes the longer lap stuff can be really, really, really insightful compared to other tracks. And again, you have like one set, so these are just long runs. There's no mixed runs in this. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, if I just delete the first 10 laps and do the long runs, you'll start to see
There's
Blaney
your
show
Blaney.
up. Yeah. And that's pretty typical of what we've seen. Interesting that Logano able to match his pace on the long run. We haven't seen Logano be able to do that. And we also, but these are pretty tight ranges. Like these identical speed for Blaney, Bell's 300ths off, Byron's a couple hundredths off. That's not fast enough to pass somebody. So like all these top 7, I'll take Stenhouse. But as far as Phoenix goes, this is the same lap time essentially. So all these guys very, very close on speed.
Yeah. That's another thing is like the delta is very small. So I wouldn't think too much into these rankings. A lot of them are pretty similar. Really, it's just about how steady and consistent speed you want. You also want to see your guys just go out and take a fuck ton of laps. So the pure lap count is also really insightful.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Let's. I'm actually gonna do the first 15 laps. We'll cut that off. That'll give us pretty good idea of best 15 lap average as well, which I think is helpful. JJT Spire got that JGR set up. Yeah, they got that Chris Gabehart knowledge. Yeah. They got that lawsuit knowledge. It'll be interesting to see how that manifests and how that plays out through the season, because it is an interesting situation. If he did bring proprietary info over, can he use it? If he does use it, is it that 1-to-1? I mean, there's always the talk about the JGR setup that RCR got for Richmond. That turned out to be pretty effective. If that story played out the way that the rumors said it did. So yeah, definitely something to think about there. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. What DOMs would you play for lineups for GPPs for DraftKings? Yeah, again, I think the main dominators you're going to talk about here are Logano, Blaney, and then the second tier, kind of Larson, Hamlin, Byron, Bell, I think are the guys jumping off the page. But probably a good time to get into this. What do you think, Toggle?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it. We'll switch over to the driver by driver page. We'll sort by salary this week.
It's got to be salary because it's so tight. Like you can't leave salary this week. The last few weeks you totally could have, especially at the super speedways. This week, I mean, you're trying to pay for 11K drivers. There's no way you're saving that much salary. Maybe like, I don't know, 600-700 at the most.
Yeah, that's the most I was getting was, I think, 800. I found a lineup that I liked with 800, but yeah, you're not going to want to save more than that. Josh Berry fan in the chat. Josh Berry is an interesting kind of one at Phoenix because he gets that Penske juice. Good flat track driver. Definitely one we're going to have to talk about here in a second. But we'll start with Ryan Blaney. He'll be the talk of the slate. Like we said, bad practice, not a bad practice session, but a mediocre practice session. I think the thing with Blaney is just how much his reputation kind of precedes him at this point. He's hit the optimal in this race, I think 4 out of 6 times, 4 out of the last 6 times. I'd have to go back and look. He's just been so dominant, gets a ton of fast laps, doesn't get as many laps led as Joey Logano, but that's more speaking to Joey's qualifying ability more than anything, I think.
Qualifying inability. Like he likes just qualify 20th in pure race trim and just move forwards.
Yeah.
And like top 5 here every single time we don't have an option tire.
He has been the fastest car here for a couple races in a row. Hasn't got the wins. I mean, won last season, but it wasn't a dominant win. Kind of found the front on the last turn of that race. But you look at the track history, you take away this 28th, it's all top 2. Penske just has something figured out here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for some upside, if you go, let's actually go over to fastlap.io, patent pending. Just kidding. It's actually not. Grab that tire that they're going to run today and sort by driver rating. Joey Logano actually has a better driver rating on this tire compound, a better average finish, top 5, and more laps led than Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney has more fast laps. Obviously, that speaks to Joey's qualifying ability more than anything. But you can certainly make a case that Joey should have something for Ryan Blaney here.
Mm-hmm.
That combined with this practice session being a little bit underwhelming, I don't mind being kind of match the field or under on Ryan Blaney, just because as fast as he is, for whatever reason, he struggles to find the lead. Like he doesn't tend to lead a ton of laps at Phoenix. He just kind of is the fastest car running in 5th. So I do think there is some lineups, there is some situation, there is some runs you can make that don't focus on Ryan Blaney.
I mean, just look at the start of this race. What do you notice about the front 3 rows that is probably going to determine everything in stage 1?
A lot of Penske.
Penske is lined up on the inside. Yeah. That is elite. Like, I'm sorry, Larson, you're screwed. You are screwed.
Yeah, you have to get a really good jump.
Yeah, it's not often you see the 3 teammates lined 1, 2, 3 on the inside. That's just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, for sure. And with Joey Logano being the best restarter of the 3, almost a perfect situation for Penske to start. But yeah, you look at Ryan Blaney, his short flat track has just been immaculate. Ton of fast laps, ton of dominator upside, ton of race winning upside. Going to be a very popular play, but very priced up too. And you can get Joey Logano for $2,000 salary less with, in my opinion, similar upside.
Yeah, and we've seen this tire once so far this year. Granted, it was in the goddamn snow, but like Blaney was the only driver that looked like actually really fucking good at Bowman Gray. Like, he was outstanding. He started in the rear. Was the only person capable of passing.
Yeah, if they don't switch to the wets in that race, Blaney probably wins that race going away. I think he'll be very competitive here. I just think there's enough potential competitors in this range that I don't find myself wanting to get a ton of left.
And there he goes. Smack that mic, bro. I heard you knock out of that one. He was in the middle of saying leverage. A ton of leverage. There we are. Yeah, I'll get it figured out, but I do agree. I think up top we've got your 1A and 1B options in Blaney and Hamlin, but I think there's a very particular way that we can attack this. Brady, I hear you trying to get back in, but
I'm doing my best.
There you go.
I'm just gonna stay. So I apologize. I'm gonna stay away from my mic. I touch my mic too much is what I do. But yeah, I don't find myself wanting to get a ton of leverage on Ryan Blaney. It's kind of a match the fielder be underweight in for me.
Yeah, because I know that you're more of a Denny Hamlin guy here. I think we'll let you opine about that one. It's just the sportsbooks could not agree more. But I'm kind of with you. The Blaney and Hamlin are sort of like the S tier alone in this race.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about Hamlin here in a second. Penske winning team plus 145. You're getting 2 bullets there. I feel like Blaney and Logano. I think the way I would probably pick one and chase a plus 400 or a plus 500. But yeah, definitely an interesting bet. Barry matchup with Briscoe minus 210. I assume Barry is the favorite there, which is very interesting. We'll talk about Briscoe here in a second, but Phoenix has been a very strange track over the years for Briscoe. Barry's a beast. Ran here well last year. Yeah, he's so good on the short flat tracks and gets that Penske set up too, so that should help him. Who is today's Clements? We're gonna have to find him here. I don't think you can consider Denny Hamlin a Clements, but he is certainly the sportsbooks pricing Denny Hamlin at plus 1,000 to win this race really caught my eye this morning.
That's just the bet, right? Like, the fuck are we talking about here?
Like, I feel a little uncomfortable doing this show because I have so much bet on Denny Hamlin to win this race.
Yeah.
But it's because he was far and away the best car here in the fall. And that was only 4 months ago on the same tire package. I don't know where all of a sudden he's going to lose all of that speed and not be competitive in this race. His finish line on pick 6 is 7.5. So I'm really bullish on Denny Hamlin. When you do fast laps past 20 lap run in practice, he was the fastest car on the track. Not by much, but certainly was the fastest car on the track here in the fall. I'm really, really bullish on Denny Hamlin. And again, if you go back to results on this tire, Denny Hamlin has almost twice the laps led of anybody else in the field. Now, obviously, Phoenix last year doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statistic, but Phoenix has been a great track for Hamlin. Race winning upside was amazing here 4 months ago. Really good in practice. I'm not seeing what the books are seeing here.
Yeah, I just don't understand it, honestly. And so far, the books have kind of confused us a few times. But I mean, just last night with Algar, this just reminds me exactly of Algar. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So yeah, I played a lot of Hamlin on the sports books, which means I probably won't play a ton of them on DFS, kind of hedge my bets a little, but I love Hamlin in this spot. Little PD upside, starting 11th, considering he's probably going to run towards the top 5, if not find the lead and dominate this race. So I'm very bullish on Denny Hamlin in this spot.
Yeah, what's not to love?
William Byron starts 9th. Good track for Byron, just not his best track by any means, but he does have some ability here. Certainly in the early stages of the next gen car, kind of fell off the last couple of years, just kind of washes out in the middle. He's kind of stuck between some really good plays here. Didn't jump off the page in practice, had good launch, but didn't carry the long run speed that JGR and Penske seem to have. And that's been the story for a couple of years now, is Penske and JGR's long run speed versus Hendrick's overall speed. Any thoughts on William Byron here?
Oh, hello. Hi. Sorry. Got very distracted for a second. Apologies. William Byron. Yeah, so Byron's like right here in the secondary range of like, he's someone you're going to need exposure to for sure. He's going to be there. He's not in that S tier with Blaney and Hamlin, but he's like right there on the cusp on the outside. In the A tier, he can run fine. Hendrick not really as favored as, I think they're the third favorite team, fourth favorite team in this race, which is not really unlike themselves. Even Larson, you see, has good finishes here. He said this is a track that's not really suited for him all that well, and his odds are even worse than Larson, who's starting up on the outside. I think Penske is just a bit too daunting, and then that next option would be, your Hamlin Bell. So Byron's just pretty expensive for someone who, realistically, I would price him probably at like the upper 9s, like lower 10s.
Yeah, and another concern here, we'll move on and talk about Larson here, but both him and Larson seem to lose a little bit of pace on the long run, which is really going to kill you against Penske for sure, and even JGR. So Kyle Larson starts P2. You're playing him, hoping he gets the jump on Joey Logano early. That seems unlikely with the Penske kind of lineup on the inside. If he does, he should lead early, but even still, I worry about his ability to maintain that pace in the long run. Like I said, both the Hendrick cars starting up here seem to lose long run pace. Larson runs really well at Phoenix, gets great finishes, top 5 in I think 6 of the last 7 or 5 of the last 6, something like that, but never really seems to dominate, never really seems to be competing for wins. Just always running where his car will let him run, and that's usually top 5, but he needs some domination here to hit value, and that's just not something we've seen out of him at Phoenix in a while.
Yeah, it's just a really tough start for Larson, starting outside all those really fast Penske's, and we've seen like the finishes are good. Third, and fourth the last 2 races here. You know how many laps he's led in the last like 2 years with these?
A really handful, maybe, not many.
0.
Yeah.
0. None.
Yeah, it just doesn't dominate here. How do you feel about Hocevar today? Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about Hocevar here in a second. Starts a little bit high. And Phoenix certainly doesn't seem like the track where he's going to have his breakout on, but an interesting spot for Hocevar. Added horsepower will finally let us see tire management is more of a factor. If tire management is more of a factor this year. Yeah, we should get a good read on it today. I kind of expect that it won't matter. I think everybody will just be, will just kind of fall off at the same rate. There might be some guys that are better at managing it than others, but I don't know if it'll create enough of a delta to really shake up the running order at all. But we'll see today. Barry top 10 plus 110. Would have cashed that bet the last 2 years. Sorry, were you going to say something on horsepower?
Yeah, well, I think this week a little bit more of the story is going to be how, we saw it throughout practice. How close can you get on tire pressure without popping the tires? It's really a risk reward gambling sort of scenario we've got going on.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely saw guys pushing the limit yesterday.
We saw guys pushing past it. Looking at her, looking at Kaz.
Byron was terrible yesterday. Yeah, Byron was squarely the 3rd best car yesterday. Wasn't close to dominating really at any point. And then he got damaged and really just kind of crashed out. So yeah, Byron definitely needs to redeem himself today. Can't wait for the 7-8 wide on the restart. Yeah. Towards the end, restarts at Phoenix can create a little bit of carnage. One of the more interesting plays on this slate, and somebody I think is kind of getting lost in the weeds here, is Christopher Bell, who starts 12th. Christopher Bell has been fantastic at Phoenix. Won 2 of the last 4 races here kind of quietly. Doesn't dominate in the way that we see kind of Joey and Denny Hamlin. Gets a ton of fast laps, incredible on long runs. We all know how good Christopher Bell is on short, flat tracks. Towards the end of last season, he kind of fell off, was running outside the top 5, but looked really good in practice, seemed to have similar speed to Denny Hamlin. A lot of upside here, I think, for Christopher Bell.
Yeah, I kind of noticed when they switched the tire compound halfway through last season, like we saw him not be good at New Hampshire, which I guess is alarming. But he's won this spring race 2 years in a row. I don't think too much about last spring race. That was like the option tire is a little bit weird, but yeah, this is a place where I mean, short flat track, you're always going to have Christopher Bell circled. I'm surprised that he is cheaper than Larson and Byron. I feel like that shouldn't be the case, but whatever. We'll take the small discount. He's a perfectly fine play, but he's going to be chalky, probably chalkier than Blaney and Hamlin just because of his price.
Yeah, and certainly has race winning upside the same way that Denny Hamlin does. And I think he's actually shorter to win. I think he was plus 600 this morning to win. So clearly the books see something in Christopher Bell they like. And like I said, his practice times were really similar to Hamlin's. Good track history. Just a matter of if he can acclimate to this tire a little faster than he did towards the end of last season.
I've seen a lot of takes. Like most people's winner pick seems to be either Blaney or Bell.
Yeah, fair enough. Tyler Reddick tries to make it 4 in a row. He'll have a tough task doing that today. Phoenix, not his best track, and short flat tracks, not necessarily his best discipline either. Has had some good runs here, especially early in the next gen days. Over the last couple of years, it's kind of been outside of the top 10 for the most part. Wasn't that fast in practice. Wasn't very good on short flat tracks last year. Is
pretty
the ride
last year? No top 10s.
Is the are the glory days for Tyler Reddick going to be put on pause this week? It seems unlikely. We'll see 4 in a row.
Yeah. I think he's gonna get some residual ownership. Obviously, people seeing he's won 3 in a row, but no, he's way overpriced here.
Yeah, and priced up at 10K versus Wallace, who arguably is better at Phoenix than Tyler Reddick, who's priced all the way down at 7,200. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I don't understand that, but hey, 3 wins in a row will do that.
Yeah, I find myself wanting to be pretty underweight on Tyler Reddick. Momentum's hard to beat, but
I'm gonna play none really.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Momentum's hard to beat, but track history is hard to beat too. Chase Briscoe is another interesting spot. He's 9,500, starts 20th. Before he got to Joe Gibbs Racing, he was amazing at Phoenix in Stuart Haas gear. I don't know what it is about the Joe Gibbs Racing cars, but he was not great here in either race last year. Can kind of give him a pass on that early Phoenix race. It took him a couple weeks to get used to the Joe Gibbs Racing cars, but not super good here, not competitive. Was a popular play coming into Phoenix last November, but didn't really pay off. Okay in practice, but certainly didn't have the speed that Hamlin and Bell had. Starting 20th, probably going to be a pretty popular play, but I don't know. We just haven't seen evidence of Chase Briscoe being super competitive on these short flat tracks other than Iowa last year.
It's just so weird, the reversal, because with Stuart Haas Racing, he was a top 10 lock in like 2022, 2023 at these short flat tracks, and he was just bad at intermediate tracks. Now the script is completely flipped. But it's so weird because he's with Joe Gibbs Racing, and Joe Gibbs is so good at the short flat tracks. I don't understand what's been going on with him. So, I mean, outside of the runner-up at Iowa last year, he's pretty fucking awful at these short flat tracks. Just, I don't know, hasn't figured out this this package yet. Maybe I don't think the extra horsepower is going to really change that all that much.
No, and I'm not really
like, why are we paying $9,500 for play stiff? I don't see it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm not looking to spend $9,500 on play stiff. I need Dominator upside, and seems unlikely that Chase Briscoe would dominate at any point in this race.
Yeah, and I mean, you only have to pay $9,200 for someone who probably is going to dominate in this race, the chalk of the slate here in Joey Logano at $9,200, so cheap.
Yeah, real deal on Joey Logano here. He's 9,200, starts P1. Obviously, we talked about, you go back to the performance on this tire compound, Joey Logano, the best in the field when it comes to this tire compound, the only one with an average finish inside of the top 5 and brings a lot of Dominator upside as well, leads a ton of laps with this tire. He starts P1. He should dominate the first stage of this race and more. And even if he doesn't, like the floor seems pretty high for Joey Logano. If he gets jumped off the start, if he doesn't dominate well into the second stage, if Blaney or Hamlin gets there and they start dominating, look at short flat tracks last year, all inside the top 10, mostly inside the top 5. You look at his Phoenix track history, a win here in 24, top 5 here last fall. Penske just has something here, and Joey Logano with a fast car is really, really hard to keep down.
Yeah. He just seems, I don't know. It's just, he's going to be so goddamn popular. Even on FanDuel, where he's a little bit more expensive. Like, he's just suited perfectly for it. This is a track that Penske, of course, has put tons and tons and tons and tons of focus into. Penske almost has like even odds just by themselves.
Yeah.
He gets 2 teammates pushing him off the rip. So, I mean, he's about as guaranteed to lead the laps as anyone. You've seen historically the lap, the pole sitter stats are just insane here. I always say that chalk is really good at Phoenix, Richmond, and New Hampshire.
Yeah.
They're like the most overall predictive tracks. I don't see how you get away from Logano here, honestly. I really don't.
And even if you're going to have to play him at 50 or 55% to get leverage on him, that's kind of palatable at 9,200 compared to Ryan Blaney, who's 2,000 salary higher with the same kind of outlook. I think the big concern with Joey Logano, and he's admitted this, and you can see it on screen, Ryan Blaney makes more speed on a long run than Joey Logano. So if Ryan Blaney gets in front of Joey at any point, we could see a situation where they just kind of run 1-2 all day. And Joey Logano just can't make speed on a long run to pass Ryan Blaney. But still, I think he's going to lead a bunch of this early race, log up a bunch of fast laps in that first stage. And like I said, the floor seems pretty high, should hang in the top 5 no matter what. Yeah, I can't find a way to get away from Logano here.
Yep. I mean, the only thing keeping him, I guess, somewhat low owned is just how quality the top plays on the slate are. Blaney, Hamlin, Bell.
Yeah, there's places to go for sure with those 3. And even if you want to get contrarian a little, Byron and Larson are, in theory, fine plays. So you can definitely find some different plays in that range if you want to get.
And he just opens up a lot for you to do. Like, you could play him and 2 guys more expensive than him. If you have like a top dominator as your third option here, you can actually justify playing like the play stiff Chase Elliott, or even having like Keselowski as your third guy, then not having to punt is nice. Or doing 4 dominators even.
I was playing with it earlier. You can do some pretty comfortable like Hamlin, Bell, Logano builds and not have to get too stars and scrubby. Like Joey Logano opens up a lot. He's going to be a very popular play, but I think it's worth it. Chase Elliott, 9,000. He'll start 26. Phoenix, not a good racetrack for Chase Elliott for whatever reason. However, this tire is very good to Chase Elliott. It's just everywhere but Phoenix. He's very good on this tire compound. Hasn't managed to figure out Phoenix outside of the top 10 in just about every next gen race here. Does have an 8th place finish, but good on short flat tracks, just super slow in practice.
He used to be really good here, is the thing.
In the old car.
Yeah, in the old car. Now it's like road courses switch to the next gen car, and he's pretty pedestrian. He likes the dog leg a bit too much, is something I've noticed from him. Yeah, the practice times are pretty concerning. Follow that up with a bad qualifying effort. I kind of have him pegged as like a cash only play, and I don't even know if he makes the cash lineup over like a Keselowski, just because, I mean, in cash, I'm probably just going to take Logano straight up over him. He's got like his floor because he's going to stay safe in the race. He's going to come like 10th or whatever. It's just, is that enough? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of that Chase Briscoe thing. Are you willing to spend 9,000 on pure place differential? Because Chase Elliott probably doesn't carry a bunch of dominator upside. So if he runs 10th, which is where he ran last year, that'll get you to 56 for 9,000. It'll be close, but again, if Blaney or Joey even is going to score 80 points for 9,200, Chase in this spot seems a lot less attractive. So
yeah, I guess the only case for him is he did lead 30 laps in this race last year after starting kind of deep in the field. So yeah, I'd say he has enough dominator upside to where I'd consider him to be a considerably better play than Briscoe, but also that ownership, man. It's going to get owned, so it's going to be hard to get any leverage on him.
And the practice times are very concerning as well.
The odds too, bad.
Where are we? Who are your
Top name.
outrights? I think Denny Hamlin for me is the only outright I played just because the number's crazy, plus 10,000. But
Yeah, I also played some Hamlin.
we'll look at the odds board here shortly. Ross Chastain might have some value today. Practice times looked good. Yeah, for Ross Chastain, it's just kind of Phoenix has been a good track for him. We've even seen him lead laps. Obviously, won this race a couple years ago.
But that was back when he was winning everything.
That was back when the parity between teams were not as wide as they are now. I think Trackhouse is more of a B plus kind of gear team rather than an A tier team they were back in 22 and 23. Just limited upside, I think, here for Ross Chastain. It would be very surprising to see Trackhouse be able to compete with the Penske's and the JGRs. Kind of just feels like this is where he'll run, kind of 6th to 10th.
Yeah, kind of like the bottom of B tier here. And, just starting behind 3 fast Penske cars, it's going to be hard, especially on the outside road. It's going to be hard for him to, find the lead. If he finds it, he's one of those guys. He's kind of very, Kurt Busch coded from back in the day, where if he somehow manages to find the lead, he could break the slate. But
absolutely,
outside of that happening, he is going to be super pedestrian, like 95% of runs we do here.
Yeah. For track history, do you guys give more weight to the March races or the November races? Thanks. Pit stop, that like button. Yeah, like the video. Come on, do us a favor. Hit the like button. I don't tend to, I certainly make note when I'm going through it of performance in the March race versus the fall race, but I don't think there's enough you can grab from that to make any informed decisions either way.
I would say last March race was kind of an asterisk because of the option tire.
Yeah, but
so I don't weigh that as much as I would like normal March races. I mean, and sure, the championship races, there's kind of they're playing a bit more by the books and all that. But I mean, it was I think 4 months ago. That's like as recent of a race as you could ask for.
We kind of know at this point with 8 or 10 races in the next gen car at Phoenix who's good and who's not at Phoenix. So I don't tend to separate them too much, but it is worth taking a look at. Calling my shot, Josh Berry season. I would love to see a Josh Berry win.
That is all about Josh Berry.
I love it.
They were all about Austin, or not. Who was it yesterday? Or was it last week? Jesse Love. So I don't know if I'm listening to chat all that much.
Is Kyle Busch a play and no Berry, no money? You're a couple plays ahead of us. We'll get through. So yeah, Ross Chastain, not super interested in it. Chris Buescher, a fine play, just really, really struggled in practice. All of RFK seemed to have the tires not figured out in practice. He'll start 17th. He's run pretty well here, top 10, top 5 in a couple races. But on short flat tracks, other than Phoenix, he hasn't been good. On this tire, he hasn't been very good. And with him, the amount of trouble they had yesterday, I'm not finding myself very excited to play Buescher here, even though the upside is there.
Buescher was dog shit at this track type last year.
Yeah.
Bad.
Phoenix was the only bright spot in this tire package and in this track type last year. So you can get some exposure to him, but I'm not looking to get a ton of leverage on Buescher.
No, everyone's going to be looking at his teammate here, Brad Keselowski. Yeah.
Pure PD play. Again, not great on this tire, a little better than Chris Buescher. I think the added horsepower will... the Josh Berry love. Josh Berry will change the sport.
This is how people sounded after he won at Las Vegas last year.
I did a Josh Berry video. I don't know if I ever put it out. I have a Josh Berry. I'm a big Josh Berry fan. But yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about Josh Berry here in a second. Yeah, Keselowski kind of backed his way into a second place finish, lost the lead in kind of the last half straightaway in the fall race here. Wasn't super competitive in that race otherwise. But I mean, starting 37th, easy top 15 upside. Hard to get away from Keselowski.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's actually slow. He just had tire go down, whatever, who cares? Yeah, almost won this race last year. Like, what? 8-3 I could pay for literally Stone last place starting place differential play. That kind of makes sense to me. Because if you look at the go to the DK average by start tab real fast and look at just the studs starting in the back, they actually do really well.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't many. There's none that have started as far back as him. It's kind of like all by himself, but you can see.
Yeah.
They tend to do pretty good.
Certainly some upside, and they won't be as aggressive on tire pressure as they were in practice. So I don't think there's any concern there. He only really needs to run
He found
top
his limit.
15.
Yeah.
Get you close. So yeah, Keselowski, a good play. Next up, Kyle Busch starting 29th. Phoenix has been a bright spot for him in the next gen car. A lot of top 10s, had a tough spell, kind of the end of 23, middle 24, where he was finishing outside of the top 20. But a fine play, wasn't that great in practice, hasn't been outstanding on this tire type. If we go to average, let's just go driver rating and find Kyle Busch. He's way down in 24th in driver rating on this tire type. Average running position of 15th, or average finish of 15th. 15th probably not enough for him to hit value here. You need another top 10 run. I find myself kind of matching or under on Kyle Busch here. Just, I don't know. I don't think I believe in RCR anymore.
Bro, I mean, Kez is right there, and you're not going to double stack him. Kez is just better in every way in this spot for play stiff.
I think Kyle Busch is a fine contrarian play, but even 8,000 compared to a guy like Bubba Wallace, who's 7,200, Ryan Preece 7,000, like that's still a big number to hang for Kyle Busch. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to chase those top 10 runs that he had last year, but I don't find myself wanting to do the same.
Yeah.
In terms of greatness, according to this chat, it goes Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, and then slotted right below him is Josh Berry, who is apparently the new face of the sport. He starts 10th, had some really good runs here last year, 2 top 10s, was great on this track type, top 10s in almost every race on short flat tracks, has the Penske juice. Only problem is he starts 10th and doesn't seem to carry the same Dominator upside. I'm going to get flamed in the chat for saying that, but doesn't seem to have the same Dominator upside that a guy like Blaney or a guy like Joey Logano has. I still think Barry's a fine play. He should run in the top 10. It's just, I'm not sure if we can find the Dominator points we need to pay this off.
I'm just saying, chat was all over Jesse Love last week. How did that work out for you guys? Not to be a hater. Josh Berry, I actually wish he started a bit lower because, again, he's going to be boxed out by these Penske guys starting up front is the real issue. He's going to be the 4th guy in line. But yeah, he's done well. This is like his track type for sure. He's Ryan Preece, but you're paying more for him. He's starting higher than Ryan Preece.
Yeah. If he matches his career best and finished 4th, it's still borderline. Might not quite get there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind getting some leverage, but he's got a tough path to the optimal, I think.
Hold on. Pull up Phyllis' comment. I want to say something.
This one?
I'm talking last week.
Yeah,
week when Love did the Cup start. Not yesterday. Love was my win pick yesterday. He almost had it right now at the very end.
Yeah.
Algar is inevitable.
Yeah, Jesse Love ran better than he finished last week. Ended up getting into some trouble. Gibbs was a good call last week. I think he runs well this week as well. Did he run good last week, or is that trolling? Because I know I played him. But he was fine. Yeah, he ended up running kind of top 10, didn't he, or top 5 even. Yeah,
I hate that I just closed my sheet where I could pull it up instantly. But
shout out Ty Gibbs. Is Byron a play today or not?
He came 4th. He was good. Yeah, he was really good.
There we go. Okay, got it. Yeah, no, Phila, listen. Keep giving the plays. We cashed on Allgaier yesterday. Is Byron a play today or not? I think he's a fine contrarian play, but he doesn't jump off the page in the same way that Blaney and Logano and those guys do. Where are we? Carson Hocevar starts 7th. This is just a problem with Carson Hocevar. He's such a hot lap hero. He just qualifies so well that it makes playing him very, very difficult. I think the Carson Hocevar breakout race is coming, but if it came at a place like Phoenix, I would be very, very surprised. And starting 7th here, I don't find myself super eager to play him.
What's the angle? Stolen setup Spire? Like the problem is he's a terrorist, and this is not a great track for terrorists.
Yeah,
you need some friends here.
You definitely need some friends at Phoenix. There will be some guys in the field. Listen, I don't think the sentiment among the field, it's weird with Hocevar because everybody agrees. Like, he's a great driver, makes a ton of speed. He's just uber aggressive, and he's not going to catch many breaks.
Did you see that video that NASCAR.com put out where they asked all the drivers who is most likely to what? And they asked who's most likely to start a wreck, and then just cuts to a super cut of every single driver in the Cup Series saying Carson Hocevar.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying yesterday, you kind of need some friends to work with here at Phoenix, just short tracks in general. why I'm not surprised to see that, while Hocevar's finishes haven't been as devastating as his intermediate track finishes, although oddly enough, that's where his speed has been. He seems pretty boxed out of the top 5 pretty permanently in these, just because, like, once you get to the best of the best guys, they're not going to cut you any slack, especially if you're Carson Hocevar, the guy that wrecks everyone.
Yeah, if you're eager to play Carson Hocevar, I think we'll have the opportunity next week at Las Vegas and then Darlington after that. I think there's probably some upside for Hocevar, but would need a kind of an outlier run to hit value here. Connor Zilic is an interesting one. Not very good in practice on single left speed, but his overall pace was fine. He starts 19th. I just think there's probably some growing pains here. Like we always talk about, we don't see anybody make a clean transition from the O'Reilly series into the Cup series. I would be surprised to see Connor Zilic be the exception to that rule. Not a guy I'm looking to get leverage on.
Yeah, it's the big wait and see race for him. This week and next week are big wait and see races because we just don't really know. So it's really hard to handicap or guess which way he's going to go one way or another. Car's fast and all that, but you just don't know. We're gonna see.
Kind of a spot where you'll let a guy beat you there. If Zilic goes and runs top 10 or top 5, then my hands are up. I'll pay the money.
Yeah, it's just Xfinity. You mentioned the transition has been really tough into the next gen car.
Metro Boom likes Bubba Wallace this week, and I do too. I think I made him a core play in my sheet. I think this is a good spot. Like I said, Phoenix has been an okay track for him, struggled last year, but overall head pace looked good in practice. 28th starting spot is fantastic. A lot of place differential upside, and a salary of $7,200 is just crazy, considering your teammate, who isn't as good as you at this track, is $10,000. I like Bubba Wallace here. Really, really good on short flat tracks. Didn't really get the finishes last year, but certainly has ability here. I think Bubba Wallace is a really strong play.
Bubba was running fine in the spring race until he got taken out. He's just had really bad luck at the short tracks last year, but 2024, 2023, he actually was really solid at the short and flat tracks. It's been the intermediate tracks recently where he's kind of really increased his speed across the board. But again, why is Bubba 7,200 and Reddick 10K? That just has to be from the 3 wins. Like that's one of the more egregious pricing things I've seen on this slate. He's fine speed wise. Like, this is a solid value play to help afford people.
For sure. And like I said earlier, and we're starting to put it together, there's lineups you can make with Hamlin, Bell, Logano, and Wallace. And that's a really good place to be in. So I like Bubba here. I think he can run towards the top 15, if not the top 10. Who would you completely on check? There's a couple of guys. When we go through the Dom station here in about probably 10 or 15 minutes, we'll get some exact names for you.
Alex Bowman.
Yeah, on check Alex Bowman for sure. I wish DFS Army had more pit stop statistics, for example, average plus minus positions. I know there's a lot of variables on pit road, but I feel like there's some leverage to be had. Yeah, I think that's something we'll build towards for sure. Not super useful yet, just because teams change so much over the offseason and we haven't had enough regular style pit stops to make any good decisions. But yeah, that's definitely something we'll work on over the next couple of weeks, and something we've looked at in the past. But maybe we find
we were just talking about it before the season started. Actually, I think we're gonna do like a tier system for pit crews once we get enough like information out there.
Yeah, maybe post Las Vegas or post Darlington towards the end of March, we'll have enough information to make something. We'll have enough information to make something useful.
Now, just sneak me into the Racing Insights back end. That's what I want. Get me in there. I will steal all the rankings.
Yeah, it's a lot of information we're not privy to that would be very useful. Ryan Preece starts 13th. He was incredible on short flat tracks last year. Ryan Blaney was certainly the belle of the ball when it came to long run pace, but Ryan Preece wasn't far behind. It's the problem with Ryan Preece is it's all long run speed. He has no front end speed whatsoever at any of these tracks. Needs long runs. Pretty good at Phoenix. Obviously very good on short flat tracks last year. Just kind of in a middle position here, starting 13th. We'll need a kind of top 7 run to hit the optimal. And when you've got Keselowski and Kyle Busch nearby, Bubba Wallace, it's easy to overlook Ryan Preece, and I found myself a little underweight.
I mean, I fuck with Preece. I really do. At practice time, kind of whatever. I wish it was a little better, but I mean, this is the track type you play Preece at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top 10 demon. top 10 in this tire setup last year.
Yeah, for sure. The only concern for me is the 13th starting spot.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, where's his usual 31st starting position? Like, come on.
He would be a
Back to
lock in
doing
that
that.
series. So yeah, a little dissension or a little disagreement on Ryan Preece, but a fine play. Just I think the upside's a little cap for me. Austin Cindric will start third. He looked really good in practice. Obviously, always qualifies pretty well on these type of tracks, but we just haven't seen him be able to translate it into a decent finish. Never finished in the top 10 here in the next gen car. I think these practice times are a little inflated by going out early. A fine play. There is a situation where he dominates races. We've seen it before, but with Joey right in front of him, Blaney right behind him, the path to the optimal is pretty rocky for Austin Cindric here.
Yeah. The price is cool, but he has never finished top 10 here.
Yeah, and hasn't been good on short flat tracks.
Yeah, it's due to regress, but like, my God, that's so weird. Fast as hell in practice, though.
Yeah, again, I don't know if that's true speed or, he should have similar speed to his teammates, but I don't know. I just don't see a situation where he gets enough laps led to make this a viable play.
Yeah, for sure.
Austin Dillon starts 25th. Not a bad spot, I don't think. I like the Austin Dillon here. He had some good runs on short flat tracks last year, pretty consistently inside the top 20. Obviously, won at Richmond with that JGR setup, allegedly. Phoenix has been a really strong track for him, pretty consistently inside the top 15, and that's really all we need to ask of Austin Dillon here. He's finishes 15th. He starts getting in that 40-point range that we talk about for your punt plays. Not a lock by any means, but not a guy that's going to kill your lineup and carries a little bit of upside, especially if he can translate some of that Richmond speed over to Phoenix.
Yeah, and it seems to be a little Richmond specific. I've been enjoying using him just at this track type overall. It looks like he has some floor. It just seems like he's kind of boxed into that, like, 10th to 15th sort of upside. Like, we haven't seen the top 10 runs from him here at Phoenix. 200 to 1, I wouldn't really expect that out of him anyway.
Yeah, just a fine kind of middle of the road play, guy you can get a little bit of leverage on. Won't be super popular. Anthony Alfredo, opportunity of a lifetime, replacing Alex Bowman this week. He'll start 31st. Practice was actually not too bad. Honestly,
good yesterday.
Yeah, good yesterday. Practice in the Xfinity Series or in the O'Reilly Series, and was good in practice in the Cup Series. Like these practice numbers wouldn't. If this was just Alex Bowman, I would say, that looks about right. So maybe about the same. I think the concern with Anthony Alfredo is just not the experience in this car and not experienced in longer races like this.
We've seen the first race where subs like this come in, unless they're Josh Berry, they usually struggle quite a bit. It's just that first race adjusting, especially with, Alfredo hasn't ran a fast car in the Cup Series since. Has he done a spot start for someone recently? I'm trying to think.
He ran with Beard Motorsports a lot, but I don't think he's ever run for Elliott. I think this is his first start in decent equipment. And you look at Corey LaJoie, who in theory would be the perfect candidate to finally get an opportunity in that 9 car a couple years ago, and he wasn't able to maximize that at all. Actually kind of torpedoed his career, his performance in that one race. So I think there's some upside here, but long term, I worry about these, putting a full race together for a guy like Alfredo. But you can certainly get some exposure. There's a lot of PD upside, and if he can finish top 20, you start to talk about the optimal. But
250 to 1, not super bullish on that.
Yeah, the odds books don't like it. Plus 1100 to finish top 10 tells you all you need to know. Fine place to get a little exposure to, but don't go wild.
Yeah.
You would think Alfredo gets faster as the race goes on. Such good equipment and personnel around him. Yeah, that the personnel and the equipment are going to do the heavy lifting. I actually worry about Alfredo. He wouldn't have run a ton of races this long. Now, Phoenix isn't a super long race anyway. But yeah, I just worry about a guy with that little inexperience putting a full race together. A lot of opportunities to make mistakes and make a mistake on pit road. This is a weird pit road. Just a weird spot for Anthony Alfredo, but a great opportunity. And what a great spot for him.
Not someone I uncheck by any means.
Absolutely not. Ty Gibbs is $6,400, man.
That's so cheap, bro.
What happened?
Why
to
is he
my
the same
king?
price as Eric Jones? Ever.
It was
Like what?
It was but 2 years ago where he was priced at like 12,000 every week in the Xfinity series. And now my king in the best car in the field, the most funded car in the field is $6,400.
It's got to be the track type history, surely. He's been pretty finish wise, he's been dog shit.
Yeah, he's certainly run average green flag running position of 16th, average finish of about 20th here or in this track type.
No top 10 since here 2 years ago in the spring race. Yikes.
Certainly has some ability at Phoenix. Like you said, he did run top 3 here in the past, but yeah, didn't finish inside the top 10 at all on short flat tracks last year. Didn't look that good in practice. Starts 14th. You would think his upside is kind of 7th. Maybe that gets you to 45. That probably gets you to the optimal, but do we trust Ty Gibbs enough to put together a 7th place run on a short flat track when he hasn't done that in over 2 years?
I mean, the options are actually pretty bad down here.
Yeah, that's
kind of like what's giving me some pause and probably going to end up making me play a little Gibbs, a little Cindric even. Like, I really can't think of any play I like a whole lot down here besides, like, I guess we'll get to one of them, but like the options are bad, so you got to kind of lower your standards. It's like when you go to the bar for the night and they're all just heifers. It's like, well, all right, I'm willing to, instead of shooting for a 7, I'll shoot for a 6 or a 5. Just bored. It's one of those situations to the lower part of this field. Like you can even make the case just punt all the way down. With how ugly things are.
That's a crazy analogy.
But it's not wrong.
I think we did this yesterday with Swalage. If you delete the name, and now it's just the 54 JGR car starting 14th for $6,400. It gets a lot more.
Delete the short track finishes too.
Yeah, I gotta delete all this too. But in theory, this is a good play.
That.
Ty Gibbs carries a lot of. Obviously, this car is very capable of going and winning this race. It's just a matter if Ty Gibbs can optimize. If he can deliver on it. Haven't seen him do it in over 2 years, but maybe today's the day. I don't know. But yeah, it's just the price that's so attractive here.
Yep.
Eric Jones starts 32nd. Was okay in practice. I was actually kind of surprised to see him qualify as poorly as he did. Not a great track type for him in this Legacy
last year. Yikes.
Legacy just hasn't been very good on short flat tracks. I think Jones is capable on this track type, but he just hasn't had the equipment to do it. This is a pure PD play. We saw him finish top 20 in both Phoenix races last year. It would appear as if Legacy is investing more. They should be getting better. They're supposedly getting more support from Toyota. So if he can run top 20 here and this gear is improving, then I think top 20 is fair upside for him. It's just a matter of, can he get there? Will it be enough?
It's a tough sell this week. Next 2 weeks are Eric Jones weeks, though, for sure. Yeah, like what? Las Vegas, Darlington, Brady. I swear to God, I'm gonna slap your mic. Whatever, bro. Daniel Suarez.
Hello.
He's starting fourth. Like Daniel Suarez. Hello, Brady.
Yeah, sorry, I hit my mic again.
Of course.
So Eric Jones, I think, is a fine play. But yeah, again, the ceiling seems kind of low for a guy starting second. Yeah, Daniel Suarez starting 4th.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Hasn't finished inside the top 10 very often on short flat tracks. Hasn't finished inside the top 10 here more than once, I think, in the next gen era. Just not a super interesting play. Michael McDowell starting 16th is a little bit interesting to me. He was pretty good on this track type last year for sure, and has always been pretty solid at Phoenix. A lot of 8s coming up. Finished 8th at Phoenix here in the fall, 8th at New Hampshire, 8th here a couple years ago. 8th will be enough for Michael McDowell if he can repeat that. So I'd like getting a little bit of leverage on Michael McDowell here.
Yeah, McDowell's been fine. I actually like him on, I think it's FanDuel. It's a pretty good price. Yeah, he's like 5,200 over there. And just scoring wise, he works out a lot better. Yeah, he's got like the top 10 upside here. Spire seems to be in a much better spot than he was with those front row cars. So yeah, I don't like with how lame the plays are overall and how low owned I expect he's going to be. Not a bad play, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. What were your thoughts on Reddick? Yeah, I think we were both kind of bearish on him. He's a little overpriced, probably going to be a little overowned, and not a great track for Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, 3K more than Bubba is like why?
Crazy. SVG will start 18th. I think we did see him start to figure some stuff out at some short flat tracks last year, but Phoenix wasn't one of them. He hasn't been super competitive at this racetrack.
At Phoenix is the thing, and he's starting 18th. So
yeah, starts too high. Now, hear me out. I really like Noah Gragson in this spot, and I think there's a couple reasons for it. I think Zane Smith and Todd Gilliland are obviously going to get a lot of the attention here. Less so Zane Smith. He qualified a little too high, but Todd Gilliland jumps off the page starting 30th. I think these front row cars are getting better. Ignore the practice times. I think there's a little bit of early track magic happening there. But if you go and look at the stats on this tire package, Noah Gragson and Todd Gilliland have about the same average running position. Zane Smith is about 2 positions above him, but Noah Gragson starting 35th. He's run top 15 here before. He was really bad last year. That's fine. But the year before that, he was really kind of solid on short flat tracks. If these front row cars are getting better, hopefully you would think Noah Gragson is starting to mature a little bit. I think there's upside here, man. I really like Noah Gragson. I made him a core play.
Yeah, it's just so weird seeing the transition from into last year's finishes, these short flat tracks from the previous year where he was actually like really good. He was over finishing a bit, but like he's not like a 30th place driver.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't know. It just 26.4 average green flag position is pretty bad for 2025. It is a new year. Again, front row cars improving a bit. I'm definitely more on Team Gilliland. I'm Team Gilly all day here for cheaper.
Yeah.
But I mean, Gragson, again, look at all the plays around him, how awful they are. He's going to be in the rotation.
Yeah, and certainly opens up your lineup to be a lot more aggressive with the stars.
Yeah, it's just we haven't seen the not so great drivers overall starting in the rear. We've pretty much never seen them score more than 25 ever.
Yeah.
So it almost makes you want to just say fuck it, go all the way down to Cody Ware if you're just going to score no points. But I feel like Gragson definitely has higher upside than that. It's just I don't know. It's a tough one. I'd rather go Gilliland personally.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little Gragson here and hope we get some of that 2024 form out of Gragson. Mm-hmm. Zane Smith, he starts 24th. He's got a pass-through penalty. He'll probably go a lap down, but he'll get that lap back pretty soon. But still, starting 24th. He's obviously the best of the front row cars, but I don't know if it's enough to deliver on a 24th starting position with a pass-through penalty.
Yeah, I mean, Zane Smith, my favorite driver, and even I can't support him this week, unfortunately. Just starting to touch too high. I wish. The only top 10 we've seen, the only good run ever we've seen from him was on the option tire last year. So, I don't know.
Todd Gilliland, I'll let you bang the drum for Todd Gilliland. He starts 30th. A lot of consistency out of Todd Gilliland on this track type and this track specifically. Top 20 in 4 races, or top 22 in 4 races in a row. You're big on Gilliland this week.
Thumbs up. Love it. Floor, cheap, 5.7. After this, we fall off a giant cliff. So, I mean, tracks like these, you really just want to go with the cheapest viable play. So unless you're playing Cole Custer, which I kind of am in cash low key, but I'm still playing Gilliland is the thing. Like Gilliland has a very important piece of this slate, I think. Yeah, that's all I got there. I'm just playing them.
AJ and Ricky Stenhouse are just kind of sprinkle plays. They don't jump off the page. I think Ricky Stenhouse has probably closer to what you would call upside here. He's finished.
He's good here. Yeah.
He's finished pretty well, but against the 21st place starting spot, probably a little bit carnage dependent to push into the top 20.
It just makes Gilliland seem that much better. Even Noah Gragson. Just look at how not great these plays are. So many like shitty drivers over qualifying.
Austin Hill in this 33 car. This 33 car just seems to be cursed, and it's weird that they've got Austin Hill in this because he's not great at Phoenix in the Xfinity series. I'm not sure where the optimism is that he will be suddenly competitive in the 33 car in the next or in the Cup series. So yeah, I don't find myself wanting to play much Austin Hill.
No.
John Hunter Nemechek, overqualified. Not much here. Maybe he can hang in the top 15, but I don't expect to see him push much higher than that. His average running position here was outside the top 25.
Yeah, no.
We start talking about least viable plays. Cole Custer, we kind of know what we're going to get. He should run about 25th. That's where he runs every week. If you're going pure stars and scrubs, then you can steal 30 points here. We've seen JJ Yaley hit the optimal with a similar kind of situation. Very playable, but the ceiling seems pretty low for a guy like Cole Custer.
Yeah, and we're trying to avoid these plays, and maybe like guys like Logano, Keselowski are going to help us really avoid these plays. But if you need to go down here, he's a better option than Herbst and Ware for sure. I guess Ty Dillon would be the only other real option here. We don't know what to make of him with the whole college situation. So Custer probably the most stable, super duper punt.
Yeah, I think Ty Dillon has some upside. We saw him run kind of in the top 25 at times, especially towards the start and middle of last year. Don't mind getting a few shares of Ty Dillon as like a least viable option play if you're going super star heavy. But average running position outside the top 25. Colleague racing in a bit of flux right now as the pending switch to Dodge. Can certainly play him, but not a guy you're gonna get a lot of exposure to. Riley Herbst starting 22nd, probably not. Even though Phoenix, probably his best track. Phoenix or Las Vegas, in theory, should be his best track. I just don't see him delivering on a 22nd. And then Cody Ware, let me just highlight this section where he finished outside the top 30 in almost every short flat track last year.
Yeah, trash, lap traffic.
Pure punt play. There we go. That is every single driver broke down. Zane Smith passed through penalty. Thank you for the reminder, Baby Yoda. Made a parlay listening to you guys, and DK won't show me the slip after accepting it. I think that's probably, that sounds like, I can't use DK Sportsbook, so I don't know what their UI is like, but that sounds like a conversation.
It limited me. No, it wouldn't even work for me all morning. They wouldn't take my location, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just go take a slightly worse odds bet on Hamlin at Bovada, whatever, fine. Don't track it. That's whatever.
Let's hop over to the Domination station and get it set up. Taco, what are you doing at the station today? And I'll try not to touch my mic.
At least two.
At least two.
Perfect. I have it marked all the way down to, I think, 12th to get like Bell in there, to get Hamlin in there as a dominator.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. Just at least two of the top 12. It's wonderful.
Yeah, you can do some player group rules, make a scrub rule, and put like at most one of
Cody Ware's.
Yeah, Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, Riley Herbst. You can go through and put these guys to make sure you're not getting more than one of these super punt plays in any lineup. We're going to make sure it's tournament mode, one or two unique, depending on your risk tolerance or whatever. I think at Phoenix you can do one because it should be pretty predictive. The projections should be pretty tuned up.
Well, it's about as predictive as a track could be. Between, I think this and Richmond are the most predictive. So you're going to run it about as chalky as you can this week, and believe me, we'll get back to not doing that the next few weeks with intermediate tracks coming up. But
about 10% randomization again.
Yep,
we'll do 10.
Sounds perfect.
We're getting so close to the DS settings. Can't wait. Yes, we've made it.
I don't care about ownership cap. We're chalky boys today. Historically, it's always been a good thing to just be chalky boys at the short flat tracks.
Yeah, let it run. Don't need to worry about projected ownership or salary range or anything. It should do the heavy lifting for you on its own. With that in mind, let's press.
Set a max of 50. There's no one you should play over 50% for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll do an exposure max of 50 and press optimize. It should spit 150 lineups out for us in about 10 seconds, even less than that. Look at that. And see what we get. So obviously very big on Joey Logano. That makes sense. Bullish on Brad Keselowski and Christopher Bell. Likes the place differential you'll get out of guys like Wallace and Keselowski. Also very big on Blaney and bigger on Denny Hamlin than I think the sportsbook are. Very interesting. Look at Ty Gibbs. Likes getting Ty Gibbs at 6,400.
you can tell that it's really not liking a lot of the play stiff punts. I would probably personally jack up like Gilliland or even Gregson a bit to kind of go more aggressive here, but um, yeah, it's really liking Ty Gibbs, which is understandable, just the price and all that.
Yeah. Somebody asked earlier, who are you unchecking? Let's see who the optimizer unchecked. Quite a few actually. Doesn't like Reddick.
Does Gibbs have Dominator upside at all, even like the smallest amount?
He definitely has the smallest amount. You know me, I'm a Gibbs believer.
You could play a 5 Dominator lineup by throwing in Cindric and Gibbs.
Yeah. Let me just do.
You could do an all Dominator lineup now that I think about it.
Let's see who its optimal lineup is. It should be the same. So its favorite single run lineup with 10% randomization, Hamlin, Bell, Logano. That was kind of the stack I was talking about earlier. Then you add Wallace, Gibbs. Yeah, that's 5 Dominators right there, potential. And then Todd Gilliland in there as well. That is the
real Dominator
lineup. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's pretty close to the lineup that I was kind of hand building.
Yep, it's just, again, it's going to be kind of hard to afford these guys up top. It's a tougher slate because the punt plays just really aren't there. They're none that leap off the board like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, and you certainly don't need to. It seems like with the Keselowskis and the Bubbas of the world, you can get away with without super punting. Let's head over to the sports book. I will go to bet365.com. Let's go to NASCAR to win outright. Ryan Blaney, the favorite to win. That makes sense. He's plus 300. Logano not far behind at plus 550. Then Christopher Bell, higher than I expected. This is the one that's just jumping off the page for me, is Denny Hamlin at plus 1,000. When we saw him be the class of the field just 4 months ago, I played a lot of Hamlin at plus 1,000, which probably means he's going to finish 45th somehow. But yeah, Denny Hamlin is the answer to the question for me this week.
Anything else? Kaufman is your winner pick, yeah. Here's the sheet link if you want. It's all updated and whatnot. So Hamlin, your winner pick then? Locking that in?
Yeah, I think I'll go Hamlin as my winner pick for sure. Let me bring up our season-long tracker.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's kind of hard not to pick Ryan Blaney here.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think Ryan Blaney is definitely the rightful favorite. I want to switch before we get too far into our season-long stuff. Top 10. Anything jumping off the page? What about the GOAT, according to the chat? Josh Berry at plus 140.
I mean, top 10 is where I would bet him. Honestly, that I'd say he has like a 50-50 shot to do it. And yeah, give it like what, plus 140? That's value.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a little shorter on Ty Gibbs, or a little longer on Ty Gibbs. Plus 120 doesn't really do it for me.
How do you bet not top 10 for Carson Hocevar?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some two-way markets out there somewhere. But yeah, nothing jumping off the page. This looks priced pretty tight. Do they have stage up yet? Not yet. Usually that comes closer to the finish. So yeah, let's switch to our season long. We do a win pick for every single race. I like to touch my mic and make it go mute, is what Brady said. No, you absolutely hate it. You hate your mic. You gotta quit throwing your mic across the room, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah, you can see Brady's got a 10-point lead on me overall so far in the season. And Brady, are you done throwing your mic across the room? I see you pulling up in here. Yeah? No? Hello.
There he is.
He is. I will get this.
Put your hands up, all right?
My hands are behind my back. Yeah. So we do it for every single race. Haven't actually got one right this year, but it's the first couple races of the season. They're too chaotic to predict. Got close with Christopher Bell last week, and we try not to pick the favorites. I think started GoFundMe for Brady. # new mic. It's not even I need a new mic. I need a new mic cord, which is probably $3 on Amazon. I'll get that fixed this week. I'm going with Denny Hamlin this week, and you're going with Ryan Blaney.
I mean, Ryan Blaney's the favorite. So I'll go the favorite, right? I think I have a pretty solid play in just give me Logano.
Yeah,
I
like that spot.
Even year, man.
Yeah, I like Joey Logano. I think the upside is similar for Logano as it is to Blaney. We also do a 36 for 36. Can use every driver once. From a fantasy scoring perspective, every week, I think it's your turn to pick first this week, Taco. Favorite fantasy play on the board?
Let me think about this one, actually.
An interesting one.
It really is an interesting one. I mean, because Kez is tempting, starting just dead ass last, and I'm not sure where else I'd take him. Probably Super Speedway. You know what? I think I gotta shoot. I gotta shoot for the stars a little bit here. I think this is not as good of a. I maybe just double dip on Logano. The only thing I'm thinking of is, like, I'd love to use Logano at Richmond as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is like a picture perfect spot for him. I don't know. He's got some fast teammates around him. Yeah, let's do it. Let's lock in some Joey Logano here. Okay, well, how about I not make this thing look crazy? But there you go. What are you thinking?
Well,
if
you're going to leave
really tricky.
If you're going to leave Keselowski there for me on the board, I can't imagine a better situation to play Keselowski.
Yep.
So I'll take Keselowski there.
There you go. Brad K, all yours.
The optimizer gave you 1% Barry. How dare the optimizer? Certainly not as bullish on him as the
smash him in on that.
The chat is, but yeah, you'll have to go in and make those adjustments. There it is, all done and dusted in about an hour and a half. Very exciting. About 2 hours or an hour and a half to lock. 2 hours to lock. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. This has been fun. We do these shows for every single race of the year, hopefully. If you're not signed up at dfsarmy.com, head over to dfsarmy.com/NASCAR. The link for that is in the bio. You get access to all the tools we've used, including the Domination Station, as well as our thoughts for every single driver and every single race. You also get access to the Discord, where we talk about this stuff 24/7. There's a lot of very, very intelligent people in there that can help you out and get you started on your NASCAR DFS journey. We will be back next week for Las Vegas, one of my favorite tracks. I wish I was going to Las Vegas this year. I'm not, but it's one of my favorite tracks, and it should be a very, very fun weekend. And then Darlington after that. We've got some great tracks coming up. Great time to get involved with DFS NASCAR.
Yep, loving this stretch of races we got coming up. It's going to be a good one. All right. Helmets up, boys. And we'll see you later. Get that money.